Alright, so the testing grounds dropped, and you guys only got a few days left to try out these feats for these heroes, man. And I'm going to be going over the feats and how they fit with the meta, how they make that character feel. Do they make the character too broken, not strong enough? I'm going to be telling you how it feels for the MM and potentially even the comp side of the game. What's going on YouTube, man? It's your boy TheTrueRawGaming. How to wrap it up for you, man. I don't screw it up for you. I'm going to get this shit to you raw, man. Let's get right into it. First, we're going to start with Zerk. And to be honest, Zerk is a little lackluster in my opinion. First, the axe, it does damage and it gets reduced on cooldown when you're taking damage. I don't feel that feat really does that much. I mean, it's a good throwable on the first one, and that's really about it. Once he starts getting hit with damage, that's when things start opening up. So he gets hit with damage, he increases the damage and movement speed. When I played him, I didn't see a situation where movement speed was a benefit. I really don't, because in any situation you're still gonna get caught anyway, because of all the roll catches, and he's not actually the fastest hero ever. So there's no running. I mean, just the extra damage boost is good, but other than that, he's really gonna outtrade most people anyway. So it just gives you that extra punch through if you need a little bit more. Now, the 3 and 4 feet is where things start getting real juicy. And to be honest, the third one really isn't shit until you get the fourth one. And that maybe that's just me. I'm not a Zerk main. Maybe another Zerk main can co-sign and vouch for what I'm saying here, but that tier 3 by itself is not anything to really be afraid of. Particularly at the higher level, his kit is really easy to just shut down. I mean, it's just lights and feints, and even if it's not enhanced, you're still able to block it, so he's not getting a lot of damage off. I'm reacting to the unblockable by animation, so I'm not really ever getting hit by the unblockable that much, unless like for whatever reason I'm getting ganked and then it's just over. But to me, I think that it pairs very well with the fourth one, because now you pretty much have a second revenge. And this entire kit, I know what they said about PK. They don't want the hero to be meta in any situation. I think that's what they're doing here. They want the hero to be really good in certain situations. This is based on what they've said. They want the hero to be good in certain situations, but never ever gonna ever be meta. So I think that with those two combined, you have an innate revenge, and you physically cannot die while in combat as long as that timer is on. So if you pop that and then get revenge, you're fine. But for the most part, I think the hero is only good in situational clutches. As far as dominating the entire lobby, like maybe another hero on this list, this hero just won't do it. But it will do what it needs to do, and it's just going to keep you alive a little bit longer in certain situations. Next up, we have you guys' favorite, the one you guys have all been waiting for. We have Centurion. Man, this motherfucker, he was fucking annoying, dude. He is annoying. Okay, so his first feat, once he gets that grab on that GB, he's doing those 3 hits in the face, and he's gonna throw you on the ground. It will 100% always hit you on the ground, and as you can see in the footage, and if you played it, that's 30 damage. And if anybody else is near, for whatever god reason, they're doing full damage. So if you guys have played the testing grounds, 2 of these Centurions is doing 60 damage confirmed. That is 100% damage. There's no like slowing down that damage. There's no damage reduction. It's just full 60 damage, and there is literally nothing you can do. And the minute you get hit with it, it's a full automatic. You're standing right back up, back into mix. So, and then on top of that, you get the buff, right? So it leads into what I said before when I made the other video. It leads right into now you have an attack damage debuff, so you can't actually out damage this character in any way. There's no reason to even swing now, because now you're in the point where your damage isn't going to do anything. On top of that, you can't run because they took away the ability to run, because they gave their allies extra speed. So you're not going to be able to run away even if he does back up. So now, though, that right there should already tell you where we're going at. So going into tier 3, we got the Pugio, and they just beefed this up. They put this shit on steroids. So now the Pugios not only still hold you in place like normal, but now you can kick and put you on the ground, and then go right back to that 60 damage attack that I was talking about. So now you're not going away. So they're gonna chase you, they're gonna do more damage, and they're just gonna reset the combo again. I mean, it's a push one button automatic gank. It's probably gonna delete somebody, and for the most part, it's over. There's really not many situations you're gonna be able to survive this fight unless they're just complete idiots. And right now, Centurion, based on these testing grounds, he's gonna be very strong. And if that wasn't strong enough, his last one. He has phalanx, but it's buffed up a little bit. So they put this one on steroids as well. So now not only does it give you the shield, but it cleanses you of all debuffs that they're adding into these games. So now if you're paying attention to the pattern, you're paying attention to how they're doing these things, a lot of these heroes are starting to come up with these auras. A lot of these heroes are coming up with these buffs and debuffs and all that stuff. So at the end of the game, when everything is coming down to trying to win this game, it is going to be almost impossible if that Centurion is still alive. If that motherfucker has 4 feats and he's alive, you're probably not winning the game. I don't care if he's a mid player. If this the fact that he has the feats, there's almost nothing you can do, because you can't afford to make a mistake. One button and you're on the ground and there's 60 damage, and then you get up and he's losing, he pops a phalanx, and every debuff you had up your sleeve, it means absolutely nothing. So I mean, in my opinion, the hero is absolutely overtuned. It's absolutely overtuned. Now, you gotta think about this in the eyes of someone who really knows what they're doing, because a lot of the guys are just testing the things and testing grounds, you know what I'm saying? But if this goes live, this shit is gonna be insane in the comp community. He's gonna have to be banned, because pushing one button and being able to pull off full damage combo, 60 damage combo, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I believe that character by far is the most strongest one that's come out of all 4 of these changes here. All right, I'm about to get a little controversial here. All right, I might be in the minority. I'm gonna start with the first feat. Now, first things first, you can get a 66 damage deflect. Yeah, you can get a 66 damage deflect with yourself and no other additional buffs. If anybody adds an additional buff, it'll be 70 damage. That will be a 70 damage deflect from Shinobi. That's just that. Now, I may not be running this feat, and I'm gonna tell you why. Why? Because it's competing with Bounty Hunter, and being able to get that health back is just very good. Another reason, it's incentivizing you to not do the 2 taps, so you can give up frame advantage, so the other person can tolerate playing against Shinobi more. It has nothing really to do with the player playing Shinobi. It's also the opponent feels a little bit more tolerable and not irritated when fighting you, because it's never their turn to swing. The other one, right? It's very easy to hard counter it by just always parrying the Sickle Rain mix-up. If you always parry the Sickle Rain unblockable or the undodgeable, one, you're going to shut down the attack. 2, if I feint to guard break and then get an heavy off, I still never got the Sickle Rain. I'm never going to get the attack buff. So I'm pretty much running a wasted feat. Does that make sense? If I'm never able to get into the Sickle Rain, I'm running a wasted feat. Well, you're saying, oh, what if you just you can do it off of in a team fight? That's possible, but when have you ever thrown an undodgeable and unblockable on someone in a team fight and got a full 3 tap? It's not likely. Let's say you do get into it, right? You're negative, you're back to neutral, so you're not positive. You're not throwing a light. You're not gonna throw a bash like that. And the damage you do get on the bash is not that much. It's only 3 additional, so it goes from 14 to 17. Is it game breaking? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But like I told you in the beginning, a 66 damage deflect. Oh no, 62. I'm sorry, 62 damage deflect. That, if you push a button after I go 3 taps, you're pretty much one shot. I'm not gonna lie, it's over. So moving on from that, I don't want to waste too much time on that. So we do have the feats being brought down, the Yamu Uba and the Nukabuki. That is very good. That feels very, very good being brought down earlier. So now I can start getting in the flow, and I will almost 100% of the time get to my 4th feat, just because of that. It allows me to start clearing minions a lot earlier in the game than having to wait later, because I need to be more in team fights later in the game. Now the 4th feat, here's the one that people are going to be worried about. The 4th feat. The 4th feat, in my eyes, is not broken. It is properly balanced. Now I'm not saying that just because I'm a Shinobi main. I'm saying that because it is very easily to be shut down. You have a long wind-up time that you are not like uninterruptible. You are very easily interruptible. You can throw in a feat. You can get bumped into by just your teammate or something, or someone does a bash to someone and bumps into you and knocks you out of it. You can be lighted out of it. You can be guard broke out of it. You can be bashed out of it. It's a lot of different things, a lot of ways to shut that down. Now, if you're in that circle, it's over. It's over, bro. You're cooked. It's like 60 damage, I believe. I believe it's like 60 damage. But it's a lot of fucking damage. It's a lot of damage. That's if you get put in it. It's supposed to be for team fights, but how hard it is to land it, because you're able to shut down out of it really easily. It's a little bit harder, but I do like it. Now, for Shinobi, I think he's very strong. particularly because he got his feats brought down a little bit earlier. He's gonna be more of a mid-game player, like a little bit more now. Once he starts getting to that 2, it's gonna start synergizing, going to 3, it's gonna go into 4, and he's gonna have all his feats. He's gonna be able to be mobile, a lot of infinite stamina, a lot of health coming back. He's gonna be really good. Now, the last one I have is PK. PK is in a bit of weird state. I'm trying to stay on task here when they were saying way before that they never want to have PK as a meta character. They've explicitly made that clear multiple different streams that PK will not be meta. So when I think about playing PK and when I'm reviewing PK, I'm keeping that in my head when I'm going on. All right, so stay with me. Now, the first feat is to proc that bleed. Obviously, it's a projectile. They want more projectiles for whatever reason on tier 1. Yeah, so once you get that, anytime you damage a bleeding target, you're gonna gain a defensive buff. That was a weird choice in my eyes until I started playing and I started figuring out why they did it. They want the hero to stay alive a little bit longer in the fight. Now, it's not gonna completely save your life, nothing like that. That's not what it's gonna do. The thing is, it wants to keep you in the fight longer. This is all to build up late. Stay with me. This is for the later feats. Stay with me. We're gonna come back to that one. Your third one, attacks will apply bleed. That is very strong if you can get attacks off. Now, like I said, we're playing team game mode, and we also have included breach. She's gonna be very difficult to play in breach. I'm not gonna lie. You're probably gonna struggle if you play in breach, but if you get your feats to the end, you're gonna have a good time. For Dominion, she's gonna be a little bit harder to play because she's already not a superb team fighter. You're just gonna have to really work for it. So if you get that T3 and everybody starts bleeding, it's gonna start feeling a little bit better. Now, when you get to tier 4, that's when shit gets absolutely insane. So the ability to pretty much have a permanent fear itself, whew, that's strong. That's strong because now if you go back to the first one, you're able to debuff everybody else just by being there, right? And now every time you land on a bleeding target, you're giving yourself a buff to your defense. So what it's doing is it's not here to help you delete people and decimate people. The whole concept that I'm got from these feats is it wants you to be in the fight, just being a presence there, just being a presence there. So now people have to focus you to start changing the fight. Now, I couldn't, for whatever reason, I could not find a match anymore after, like, I think the first day. For whatever, I think people just don't like the testing ground. I think that's what it is. But I think she's okay. She can be strong if the player knows how to play for health. If they're going in with the intention of not absolutely deleting everybody, the character's gonna feel very, very tough to deal with. I think the last feat is also attempting to replace last lap. I think they don't want to get rid of it because they have bad players who really rely on that, and that's the only reason they're playing PK in the first place. But I think that is what they're trying to do. Anybody who runs PK, they want this to be a meta feat where you're not running last laugh, and I agree with that. I think the feat should be removed, but that's a different video. That was a very interesting testing grounds, and I think that's gonna wrap up everything, man. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are some of these characters a little bit too strong? How would you change some of these feats to fit better in the meta? And where do you guys put these guys in the meta, man? I don't wrap it up for you, man. I don't screw it for you. I'm gonna get this shit to you raw. Thank y'all for coming out.